Now, Lowcountry Forever, a public affairs presentation of the Charleston Radio Group.
Sing United. What is it? Well, I'm glad you asked because it's something very special going on here in the Lowcountry, and it's our subject of discussion on Lowcountry Forever. I'm Brian Cleary, joined by the Director of Strategy and Innovation for the Trident United Way. Amy Massarillo is with us, and Amy, explain to everyone exactly what Sing United is.
So Sing United is the first ever virtual singing competition that is coming here to the Lowcountry. And we were so excited to be able to bring it this year. And it's a virtual singing competition. You might think one of the other competitions that you see on television or something like this, but it's similar to that, but in sort of a March Madness kind of thinking. So it is a single elimination bracket tournament. We started with almost 50 participants. So almost 50 singers from across the Lowcountry came together to do this event. And we're now in the midst of our first elimination round. So it's very exciting.
And anyone familiar with the local music scene knows there's a lot of talented musicians and singers across the Lowcountry. I'm sure that's why you were excited to get 50 participants. We're now down to 32, but if somebody goes on the bracket of 32 and looks, they're going to see some names they recognize, and they're going to be able to listen to a whole lot of Lowcountry talent.
Yes, they are phenomenal. I try to think that I know all the talent in the community and I know what's out there, but I have to admit I was blown away because there are a lot of really incredible names that we've heard, we've seen touring around the community, but then there are some really great artists who were like, we want to try this for the first time, and they're singing from their living room. So it's so exciting to see all of that come together. And what's even more exciting is that they're doing this for such a great cause. And so they're putting their name out there, they're putting their voice out there and their talent, and then they're sharing it for Trident United Way to raise money for Trident United Way. And it's such an exciting talent pool.
And of course, one of the most exciting parts of all this is that listeners from all over the Lowcountry are going to have the opportunity to select the winner. And by doing so, they'll be helping the Trident United Way, an organization that needs your help because let's face it, Amy, you and me personally, and certainly the Trident United Way has not been immune from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Can you talk a little bit about how the Trident United Way has been affected and what you've been doing as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, it's a time of need for, I think, everybody in our community. And you said it best. We all felt this past year in our own ways, and then we felt it as a collective community as well. And I will say some of the work that Trident United Way does directly in the community through our 211 hotline or through our resource connection centers, we've just seen an astronomical increase in the need from the individuals calling us for help. So we're looking at how do we meet these needs best, and we just know that everything from basic needs to longer term needs, it's all been on the rise. And so we are looking for creative ways to raise that money to continue to support those needs in a bigger way.
Well, let's take a step back 1 second, Amy, because everybody knows and has heard of the United Way. But do people understand what the United Way is and what it does? And more importantly, do people understand what the Trident United Way does locally here in the Lowcountry? So take a little time here and talk about some of the things that the Trident United Way does to help our neighbors here in the Lowcountry.
Trident United Way's vision, just to look at it from a very high level, is we really hope to be the leader in uniting our community to improve all lives. Not to say that everyone needs the same sort of hand up, but we know that all of our lives can be improved in some way, shape, or fashion. And these are lives of people right here in our community. It's important to know that while United Way is this big name that we see worldwide, the Trident United Way is your United Way. It's the United Way that lives right here in our community. We raise our dollars in the community, and we're actually spending our dollars in the community on the needs that are most pressing right here in the Tri-County. And so we're looking at education, financial stability, and health, and where those three come together. We like to say that we are that organization that brings people together to focus on the issues that no one organization can tackle alone, because these are big issues that we're tackling. So we're talking about things like Literacy United, which is a program that we launched because several years back we identified that there was a large need, and I think we can all agree on this, with reading by the third grade. So we were having so many young people, almost 50%, not reading proficiently by third grade.
Wow.
And our educators, our superintendents, our principals are all telling us that third grade is a critical year. And so we launched the program to address that. And it's now going into this separate program called Literacy United, which is continuing that work. So we brought all those educators together. We brought the superintendents together, had this conversation, what can we do? And we launched that work. We've done similar work in Healthy Tri-County, where we brought the hospital systems together to address some of the community's most pressing health needs. And that work is just tremendous. So things like diabetes prevention, healthy lifestyles. And so there's a lot of work happening around that. I briefly mentioned the Resource Connection Centers. These are one-stop shops. We have them in Berkeley County as well as Dorchester County, where folks can come in for any number of things dealing with their financial situation, and our team there will have a conversation with that person and figure out their entire need and all the different ways we might be able to help them by communicate or connecting them with other resources in the community. And then you mentioned 211. 211 is a quick and easy way to find resources. And so we have the number you can call, 211. We also have an app that you can download on your phone. And while you're not calling 211 to actually get that resource or that need met, what they're doing is they're giving you like, hey, this is your need. This is the area that you're living in. These are the organizations you can call. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but we have, and I'm sure you have, but we have so many nonprofits in the community. Mm-hmm. And if you're in a situation of need, it can be incredibly overwhelming to figure out who to call. And that's what 211 does for you. They help you navigate that and to figure out who to call next. And those are just some of the things that we do. But so much of what we do is behind the scenes, right. And folks don't see it. But we're all about connecting resources, connecting people, and really tackling big issues in our community.
We're having a conversation with Amy Massarello, who's the Director of Strategy and Innovation for Trident United Way. And Amy had mentioned the fact, and I had brought up COVID, a hard 12 months for people in our community. And then in addition to that, you're being asked to do more, and the opportunities for you to do fundraising events and stuff like that has been limited. So Sing United is kind of helping out in that area. How is the United Way ultimately going to benefit from the Sing United singing competition?
That is a good question, right? Because we have a lot of singers and they're out there sharing their voice, they're competing. But what's interesting and what makes this different is that they're competing for votes where $1 equals a vote. You can go onto our website at tuw.org/sing, and you can see the head-to-head competitions that are currently happen, and it's constantly updated. You can also follow the Facebook page. If you just go on Facebook, search Sing United, you'll find the page, and it shows you the head-to-head competitions. If you like something you see or one of your favorites up there, you simply click the link, you vote with your dollars. And I will tell you that our first round bracket wrapped up this past weekend, and one of our head-to-head challengers won by 2 votes.
Wow.
So every vote is counting, and it was exciting right up until the last minute. So just if you go on there and you say, I just want to do 5 votes, that 5 votes is going to count, and that's $5 more towards the work that we're able to do in the community. So every vote is counting.
It really is amazing. And to go beyond that, obviously the folks involved are helping out, which is wonderful, getting a lot of exposure, great as well. But you guys have put up a pretty amazing prize package for the folks participating and the grand prize winner as well.
Oh my gosh, we're so excited about this. So certainly our artists are excited about the exposure and they're excited about being able to help. But ultimately, we have prizes for even our top 16 right up onto the grand prize winner. But it's a prize package of over $11,000 when you consider everything together.
Wow.
But our top winner is going to receive a cash prize. They will have an electronic press kit created, which includes website hosting and all of the things that go with that. They will get to do a video. So they'll have a fully produced video, a photo shoot. All the things will be able to be brought together so that they can then package themselves for the next phase in their professional career. And then even the top 4 get to have a one-on-one session with an Emmy Award winning producer, and then perform live out at Fox Music House. So it's pretty exciting.
Amy, let's take a step back 1 second, because you're talking about dollars per votes. So people are going to be giving their dollars. Talk a little bit about what the Trident United Way does with those dollars. What is that money going to help and contribute to here in the Lowcountry?
We do this in a couple of ways. First of all, as so many people think about when they think about Trident United Way, we certainly do send grant dollars out into the community. So we have organizations that have benefited from their grant recipients, and we do not make those decisions on our own. We actually have a group of volunteers that make the decisions of where our grant dollars go. So we have volunteers come in, they review everything, they dig in deep to the dollars and to all of the grant applications to make sure that the dollars are being spent in the correct way when they go out in the community. And so our volunteers are making that decision. And then when folks give to Trident United Way, we're able to amplify their dollars into the community because we're so connected and we work so well with other organizations. When you give a dollar to Trident United Way, it's amplified when it goes out to the community. So your dollars are going further. And that's just because we're able to work so closely with other nonprofits and other leaders in the community.
We're talking with Amy Massarello. She is the Director of Strategy and Innovation for the Trident United Way. I'm Brian Cleary here on Lowcountry Forever. Now, Amy, you mentioned the word volunteers. Obviously, as much as possible, we want people to vote and give their dollars to not only supporting the artists that they love, but also that money, of course, benefiting the Trident United Way. Is there other ways that I or people listening can step up, volunteer, and assist the Trident United Way?
Certainly. We are always looking for volunteers. So we are a volunteer-driven organization. I mentioned earlier that, our funding decisions are made by volunteers, but so much of the work that we do in the community is driven by volunteers. We have fewer than 40 employees across our entire organization. And if you consider the work that's being done out there, it would just be physically impossible. We have hundreds of volunteers that help support that effort. Additionally, we have volunteer activities all throughout the year. You may have heard of Day of Caring that happens every fall, where we send out thousands of volunteers across the community. So there's so many volunteer opportunities that come up on a regular basis. Of course, this past year, we've been limited some in the in-person volunteer opportunities, but we have such a great team of our volunteer team here is so great. They've been able to shift a lot of that work to be virtual. And so we've been able to offer virtual volunteer opportunities as well. So if you're interested in getting involved, certainly just reach out to us and we will find a place for you to get involved. We have so many opportunities in this community.
Volunteering, one way to help the Trident United Way. The other way right now is to vote for your dollars. You'll be supporting artists and giving dollars that'll go right back into the community thanks to the Trident United Way. So, Amy, run through it again. Where are we at right now in terms of the Sing United competition?
We are in the first round. So the first round, we're going to go from 32 artists down to 16. We are actually finishing up the first round Sunday night. And then we'll be headed straight into our second round, which would be the Sweet 16 on Monday night, and it is fast and furious from there. So what I would recommend is if you have someone you're interested in or that you follow that's a part of the competition, follow the Facebook page closely because this competition is moving quickly. And a bracket will go up for vote. 2 days later, that bracket is finished. And all you have to do to vote is you just click on the link that's associated with the bracket. It takes you straight to the voting page, and then you vote with your dollars which artist you want to see go through. And like I mentioned earlier, every vote is counting. So we ask folks vote early. And then at the end of each bracket, we'll have a live, and it's promoted on the Facebook page as well. And again, you just search for Sing United on Facebook. And the live is going to start at 15 minutes before the final, deadline for the votes.
Okay.
We start counting down, and then it comes down to the very last minute and the very last second to see who's going to be moving forward. And then we announce live who will move forward to the next round.
And when will we find out who is the ultimate Sing United champion?
So we're expecting to wrap up everything the middle of May. But I would say certainly keep an eye on what's going on because, again, this is pretty fluid. We're moving, and we might finish earlier, we might finish a little later, but we're looking about the middle of May to be able to crown the first ever Sing United champion.
So the best thing for people to do, as you said, is just to keep on top of it. If you've got a favorite, chances are with the 32 that we're in now in that round of voting, you've got more than one favorite. But you can certainly support with your dollars as few or as many artists as you want. Isn't that correct?
Absolutely. In fact, I feel like I want everyone to win. And I think the first time I voted for 5 different people. So we make it really easy. And another thing to keep in mind, too, is if you go on there now and you see an artist performing, the next round, if they go through, they're going to be performing something completely new.
Nice.
So every round they have to submit something new. So if you have somebody following or that you're following and they keep winning, you're going to get to see lots from them.
It's a great reason to vote. Vote early, vote often, and vote for your favorite, and vote to help the Trident United Way. And Amy, for people who are looking for more information, they're interested in the Trident United Way, what would you suggest they do to get that information?
I would recommend for anything and all Trident United Way, really just visit our website. It's tuw.org. You can find information on there about our programs. You can find information about how to get involved. We have some great donor networks. We have lots of really great opportunities, and you can find all that right there at tuw.org.
And as Sing United continues, tell me about some of the sponsors that you have that are supporting the competition.
You know, our bracket sponsors, we have Charleston Southern, CNS Wholesale, Charles Blanchard, Elliott Davis, Coastal Roofing, all those prize sponsors I talked about. This is just an exciting time for our organization. It's an exciting time for our community, and such an exciting time for these artists. So we just really thank you for your support and the community's support.
She is Amy Massarillo from the Trident United Way, our guest today on Lowcountry Forever.
The Charleston Radio Group is the Lowcountry. Every week, we highlight local organizations and events that are helping to make a difference here where we live. If you have a group, event, or an idea to feature on Lowcountry Forever, let us know. Visit lowcountryforever.com and click on our podcast link for contact information. Now, Lowcountry Forever continues.
The Dorchester County Board of Disabilities and Special Needs. It's an organization that you may not be familiar with, which is why we're featuring them today on Lowcountry Forever. This nonprofit is making a difference in the Lowcountry. And joining us on Lowcountry Forever with me, Brian Cleary, is David Goldmans, who is the executive director of the organization, and also Sophia Jenkins, the executive assistant. And David, let's start right there. As the executive director, how is it that you describe what it is the Dorchester County Board of Disabilities and Special Needs is all about?
The board is a public agency that serves approximately 800 people in the Dorchester County area. We have about 130 people in our residences and our residential program. And our focus is serving and supporting people with intellectual disabilities. That could include autism, that could be spinal cord and head injuries, and those type of things. So our focus is doing it in the least restrictive manner possible and to integrate people into society. We're not just in the community. We want to be part of the community.
Can you give some people who are listening right now a specific example or two of exactly one of the services that you might provide to someone who is in need?
Sure. One of our largest programs are the residential programs. And we provide a continuum of care. So there are homes that we have which are almost like medical facilities. And then as we move through the continuum of care, we have 3 and 4 bedroom group homes that are indistinguishable from your home and my home. And then ultimately, as people achieve independence and we train them for independence, may have their own duplex or their own apartment when they're on the cusp of full independence. So that's our goal, and we try to move people through the system and support them however we can.
In terms of an average length of time, I guess it must depend on the individual person and their needs in terms of how fast they could go through a program that you offer?
Exactly. One thing that makes us and other disabilities boards unique is that we're lifelong. Once you come to the disabilities board, as far as we are concerned, your family, and you're with us. Well, you're with us your entire life if you wish to be. So some people can do it in several years. Typically, it takes a little longer than that. But I've experienced people that have started out in medical type facilities or larger facilities and have kind of moved all the way to having their own apartments and having their own jobs and their own social life. And again, being part of the community.
So, David, I wish I didn't have to ask you this question. You're a nonprofit. And over the last 12 months, all of us individually have been challenged by COVID-19. But certainly as a nonprofit, your need and the needs that you serve haven't gone away, but how challenging has the COVID-19 pandemic been for your organization?
None of us have experienced anything like this, obviously.
Right.
It's been extremely difficult, but our direct support staff and our management have done a fantastic job, despite numerous staff getting COVID themselves and having to stay out for 14 days and go through the whole COVID protocol. It's been difficult. And we have lost some staff with regard to people it was just not the right time for them to remain employed. So they've left for various and assorted reasons. But it's been tough, but thank God every one of our residential consumers whose loved ones or parent have consented for them to receive the vaccine are fully vaccinated. So we're really delighted about that. Large number of our staff are fully vaccinated. So there seems to be a light at the end of the tunnel.
We're talking with folks from the Dorchester County Board of Disabilities and Special Needs. If it's an organization you're familiar with, you know the great work they're doing here in the Lowcountry. If not, we're looking to introduce you to them today. David Goldmans is the executive director, and we're also joined by the executive assistant with the organization, Sophia Jenkins. And Sophia, David has referred to staff. You guys are actually looking to add on some staff, and you've got a Career Fair 2021 coming up. What can you let people know about the Career Fair?
We have our Career Fair. It will be on April the 30th at the Northwoods Mall parking facility right in front of the Dillards, alongside of what used to be the Kings Street Grill, which is now Stone Throw Tavern. We have about 1,000 square feet facility parking lot available, and we will have food. We've actually orchestrated a number of vendors that have decided to donate food towards the event so that we can get those people out there. We have a few radio stations that we've contacted and made contact with to come out. We have the Dorchester County Fire Department, as well as the Charleston County Police Department and the local blood truck, which will be our one-spot blood drive.
You've got a couple of different positions you're looking for. Let's dive into this a little bit, because I think people may hear special needs, disabilities, and think, well, I'm not qualified for that, which may or may not be the case. So a residential direct support professional, what kind of person could fill that role for you?
I can let David speak for that.
The direct support professional is the backbone of our agency and all disabilities agencies. These are the people that are on the front lines providing the care, providing the compassion and assisting our consumers in becoming more independent. The job is not for everybody. It's a tough job. We wish we could pay a lot more, but we believe that it's more than a job. I know that sounds like a cliche. It's a calling, and that the reward that people get, or at least I can speak for myself, that I got working as a direct care many, many, many years ago, far outweighed the money that I got or I didn't receive. But it's not for everybody. But I think you will ask direct support professionals, they'll tell you that their reward is in helping their fellow man, or certainly assisting our consumers.
Well, David, let's veer off a little bit here, if you wouldn't mind, because before we started the interview, we were talking, and you actually bring personal experience to the role that you're in now. Can you talk a little bit about that so people get a sense of what you might be referring to?
My brother Mark was born 3.5 years after I was, in 1970. And he was born with Down syndrome, which is oftentimes, or most of the time, leads to intellectual disability. When people think of folks with disabilities, a lot of times they think of folks with Down syndrome. Mm-hmm. I lost my brother in 2008 to acute lymphoblastic leukemia, but he lived his entire life with my folks on James Island. He really got me in. He showed me what the unconditional giving and caring could do. Watching him day to day as I grew up kind of convinced me that when I got out of college, this is what I wanted to do.
And the residential coordinators that you'd be looking for, David, what kind of people might be able to assist in those roles? What are you looking for?
They have to be, again, special people. I know I say that, but they really have to be special. We'd like for them to have a little experience in the human service field. Doesn't have to be with people with intellectual disabilities, but certainly having experience working with assisting people. We'd like a little bit of management experience. We think we do a good job in onboarding and training our folks. So, they don't have to have years upon years of experience, but we do like to for them to have a little bit of human service experience and some management experience.
Today we're talking with folks from the Dorchester County Board of Disabilities and Special Needs. Their executive director is David Goldmans. Also joining us, the executive assistant, Sophia L. Jenkins, who's in charge of a big career fair that's coming up this Friday, April 30th. Now, Sophia, you've got a lot going on at the job fair. What should people be bringing with them if they're interested in participating and just getting some information about your organization and these openings that you have available?
We're expecting a great turnout. It will be from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. if I didn't mention the time. We're expecting them to come dressed as if they were to come to a regular job interview. There will be on-site applications as well as on-site interviews. So we will do a little bit of pre-screening. Bring a resume. They must be at least 21 years of age or older. We expect them to have a clean driving record as well as a great background check. So if they have all of that, they meet the qualifications, we're welcoming anyone that's able to show.
And Sophia, if people want to get information about the organization, is there a website that they can go to find out more?
Yes, they can actually go on to Indeed, and we also have our own personal company website, which is www.dorchesterdsnb.org, and they can go on and they're welcome to apply. They'll be able to see all the homes that we have available that are vacant that we need positions filled for. We do have full and part-time positions available. If they want to sub as a part-time, they're welcome to do that as well. I do want to stress the fact and mention that we do have great benefits, great state benefits. Even though we're not a state agency, we do still receive state benefits. So the retirement is what I'm really pushing because the young people nowadays don't have any jobs or careers that actually endow into a retirement fund or retirement career. So I think that this is a really spectacular job to have. I think that's one of the reasons, as I mentioned to David when I started, for me actually choosing to work for the Dorchester County Board of Disability as well because of the retirement benefits and the state benefits that you receive.
Wow, that's outstanding. And David, you've got experience obviously through your position, but also through your brother. Can you talk a little bit about, because as we've kind of mentioned here, when you're dealing with people with disabilities and special needs, what suggestions would you have for people who might encounter someone with a disability or a special need in terms of how you should address and deal with that person?
I think what I would say is just be yourself. I can remember with my brother Mark, we would go places and people, you could tell, people they would feel a little uncomfortable. And invariably, he would always break the ice. He would always tell a joke or he would talk about sports and those type of things. So I just say, be yourself. What we're looking for are people that just treat everybody with dignity and respect. So, that's a good litmus. If you treat your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your kids with dignity and respect, you're probably the type of person we want.
And Sophia, for people coming out to the job fair, you got a whole lot going on. This is really an event that people can come out to as well.
Yes, we're expecting a great turnout. I'm hoping that we get at least 100 people, and out of that 100 people, we can weed it down to maybe 50 applicants or so. I'm just looking for a great turnout, as I said, and we have so much going on and we have so much to offer people now, especially with the pandemic going on. It's very important that we stress this fact that we are in need, that it is a great job to have. It's a great long-term position. It's not just a job, it's a career. I mean, as David said before, it's not something that you would think of or consider as a job, but this is something that you actually take pride in. I see myself every day when I come into work, even though I'm just an executive assistant, I don't work on exactly directly with the consumers, but they come into the office, they talk, they make jokes, we play, we do everything together. So you become part of their family as they become a part of yours. And you kind of have this, you take almost like a toll on them, almost like a brother-sister like relationship you tend to have with them. And it's wonderful to have. I mean, it's a very rewarding position. So I think that a lot of people would actually enjoy working here.
So David, let's leave it at this. The Dorchester County Board of Disabilities and Special Needs, what is it that people should take away in terms of what it is that you're doing in the community and how you're helping and making a difference?
I think that what they need to take away is that I think in some ways we're the best kept secret in Charleston area and certainly Somerville. We've got 200 wonderful employees. Lots of them are working. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Right.
We never shut down. And I think the work that we do I'm proud of it. I think that the folks that come to the job fair will start to see that in some of our employees. When you measure an agency or company, you can certainly look at their employees and see the satisfaction in their faces. I think you'll see that.
And Sophia, one more time, if you wouldn't mind sharing for people who want to get information, they can go to the website, and your website again is what?
It is www.Dorchester, D as in David, S as in Sam, N as in Nancy, B as in boy.org. We'll be glad to have you. So they can go online there, or they can go on Indeed and apply for any applications that we have available.
And again, the career fair is going to be this Friday, April 30th, and that will be where?
It will be at the Northwoods Mall parking lot facility in front of the Dillard's location and Stone's Throw Tavern from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Have a great time, get some food, give your blood if you'd like at the blood drive. Meet some great people at that. Some of our self-advocates, which are our consumers, will be in attendance.
Sure.
So the people who are coming to apply will be able to see the type of people that we actually work with on a daily basis and kind of get an idea or feel of exactly what we do here at the organization.
Thanks for listening to Lowcountry Forever. If you missed any of this week's show, there's a complete recording under the podcast link at lowcountryforever.com. Lowcountry Forever is a public affairs presentation of the Charleston Radio Group.